But I'm very excited, actually, about my first guest. Many of you are probably familiar with the name Robertino Diodoro, but I feel like you've been kind of a ghost, and I met you the first time the other day, and Robertino Diodoro is his first summer in Saratoga, so let's give him a good welcome. So, is this the first summer you've run horses in Saratoga?
Yes. First time I ever been here was a couple days before opening weekend, and can't say enough about the place.
It's nice here, right?
Pardon?
It's nice here.
Oh, awesome.
Now, last weekend, you ran horses at Assiniboia, which is in northwest Canada, Northlands Park, Del Mar, Canterbury Downs, and Saratoga. That's got to be a record, right? Probably nobody's ever done that.
Maybe Steve Asmussen.
Is he up in Assiniboia very often? Have you seen him up there too often?
Not very often, no.
So how many bases of operation do you have, and where exactly are they?
5 places right now. Del Mar, like you said, Northlands Park, which is in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Prairie Meadows in Iowa. Canterbury, Minnesota, and then here.
And Canterbury is it your home base?
In the summertime. In the wintertime, it's Phoenix, Arizona.
It's nicer there in the winter.
So that's kind of our home base in the wintertime.
And you're at Turf Paradise in the winter?
Correct.
So you're pretty much covering all the tracks around the country?
We're building every day, put it that way. So.
You decided for the first time to come to New York full-time this year, and you came to Belmont Park. And I think, did you win the first race of the meet?
First horse we ran.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was pretty exciting. Every meet, you want to get the first one out of the way. So, of course, running the first horse was great, winning the first race.
A lot of success throughout the Belmont meet as well. It was interesting watching a lot of horses you had brought in and claimed. Of course, you claimed out of town. Were you specifically looking for horses to claim and bring to New York specifically?
Yeah, we were. We're doing a lot of looking, shopping in California, anywhere really, just trying to build it up before we came to New York. We didn't plan it overnight. To come to a place like New York, you gotta be prepared, and it's a team effort. So, some guys behind the scenes helped out, owners and some other guys, and put it all together.
Now, are you also part owner of the horses that you run?
Very few. Very few.
You have some of your people who work with you here. How many assistant trainers do you have in your operation?
5.
Really? Around the country?
Around the country. Rob Atras is in charge here in New York, and I can't say enough about the assistants. Without them, we couldn't do it.
They're the unsung heroes of horse racing, as are so many people that work at the barn.
Definitely.
But how did you get into the game? How long ago did you get into it, and how did you get into the game?
Kind of just born into it. My grandpa trained up in Canada, just a small trainer, and so I was been around it right from birth, and probably hit maybe 15, 16 years old. I started getting the itch to become a trainer, started training in the bush tracks in Canada when I was 17, 18, and went from there.
What are the bush tracks in Canada like? You must have some good stories from there.
Inside rail about 2 feet, and the odd spot missing a rail, but learned a lot, and it was a lot of fun back then.
So, when did you start training at non-bush tracks? How old were you?
94, so 43, I don't know, 21, 22. Yep.
How long did it take to get your first winner?
The funny thing is, it was at Northlands Park the first time I had my name down as trainer. The horse won.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And were you at Northlands, just Northlands for a while?
Yeah, I did the circuit. We used to run in Calgary, which is Stampede Park, 3 hours south of Northlands, and used to do that circuit during the summertime there. Of course, there wasn't winter racing up there, Canada.
I bet not. What did you do during the winter?
Honestly, sold Christmas trees.
Really? So you have a fallback position. Good to know. You're better off than a lot of us in horse racing, actually. I may be giving you a call if things don't work out. You never know. I'm sure Billy will help you get something done. So anyway, you're now. When did you branch out? I mean, did you start thinking about growing your operation and thinking about where you could go and how you could change things, and how long did this take?
Yeah, roughly 13 years ago, we started going down to Turf Paradise in the winter. Always wanted to train in Southern California. That was one of my big goals when I started training. I think it was my first or second year training. I went to Santa Anita one day, and I said, I want to be here one day, and that was one of our goals. So roughly 8 years ago, we started a string in Southern California and slowly branched from there, from Phoenix to Southern California.
And do you spend much time at Santa Anita, or are you pretty much at Turf Paradise?
I go back and forth. Our house is exactly 5 hours from doorstep to the gates of Santa Anita, but I spend quite a bit of time in Arizona in the winter. The last few years we started running in Oaklawn, so Oaklawn's been a big part of our program, and we've had a couple good winters there.
And you've done a lot of. You're being modest. I mean, you won the Grade 2 Oakland Park Handicap with Inside Straight, a New York bred actually, and I think you've had a number of stake success there as well, right? And Del Mar also last year.
Yeah, no, Subtle Indian. He won the Count Fleet, and he was Sprinter of the Year 2 years ago in Oaklawn. Stormation, or not Stormation, Storm Advisory. He won the sprint there last year in Oaklawn, so it's been a lot of fun, Oaklawn, the last couple winters.
And you don't go to hot springs, though? You're like hiding.
No, I do go there quite a bit. My assistant, Rob Atras, he's been the guy that's been in charge there the last few years, and I try to go there quite a bit, actually. It's a lot of fun.
Do you find it comparable to Saratoga a little bit?
The atmosphere, how, I got to give a lot of the people here credit, how they support the game, and the town's all horse racing. There's not many towns like that, and that's the way Hot Springs is a little bit. I'm not sure as much as Saratoga here, but it's definitely, the town's into it.
So, are you here for the 2-year-olds for the yearling sales? I mean, did you come for that at all?
I came to them. We never bought anything, but that's
Good
something.
Move.
Yeah,
They're a little expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. But we went both nights just to check it out, and it was quite interesting.
Now, are you branching out? Do you have any 2-year-olds here at this time?
No, we don't. That's something that moving forward we're definitely wanting to do, and it's definitely in the plans for up and coming months or year.
So are you like most trainers and people in the game, do you dream of winning the Derby, or what particular race? I mean, the Breeders' Cup, have you been involved in any of those races?
I've ran in the Breeders' Cup. I think that's one of the things on my list. Of course the Kentucky Derby, that's everyone's dream, but I think winning a Breeders' Cup race would be definitely on one of the top on the list.
Do you look at your operation? Are you constantly thinking ahead, or are you pretty much sort of managing what you have and growing from there?
I think you always got to look ahead a little bit. In this game, it's one day at a time. Most trainers and a lot of owners can tell you, these horses can go sour or south on you overnight. So it's a game that you got to take one step at a time, but at the same time, we do plan ahead.
Well, I mean, it's, when you talk about the game, I think you look at your barn and you look forward to horses, and you obviously claim a lot of horses. Do you spend a lot of time trying to figure out a horse to claim? Because it's very tough in New York, because a lot of horses, the same people are looking at the same horses. Do you try to find horses a little off the beaten path sometimes?
Sometimes. We've done that quite a bit in Oaklawn the last couple of years. I wouldn't say that we've done that so much here in New York, but definitely in other places we have done that.
Have you been claiming much at Saratoga?
Yeah, we've been you've had a decent meet in the fact that your horse they haven't been winning, but they've been hitting the board. It's tough to come. Saratoga, you did so well at Belmont. Did you expect it to get much tougher when you got up here? Everyone told us it was going to be tougher. I didn't think it was going to be quite this tough, to be honest. And like you said, our horses are running well, but we're definitely itching for our first win.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to my first win, too. I had one winning day, I think, at the meet. So I know the feeling. I think if you haven't come to Saratoga and gotten your butt kicked, you really haven't been to Saratoga.
Yeah. No,
and I think a lot
that.
of great trainers, Graham Motion's here, and I'm sure that Graham would be happy to tell you that, too. You come here and you think you have all the right horses, and it doesn't always work out as you planned.
No, I can see that for sure.
Well, we appreciate your coming and joining us. Robertino Diodoro, thanks so much for coming and joining us and At the Post Live.
Okay, thanks for having me.